Ready?
Let's ride.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Press X Podcast, episode 99, your weekly podcast for gaming news and opinions coming at you each and every Monday at noon Eastern. I'm Kevin McManus. With me, Kellen Williard.
Hey.
Nick Hassell.
That's me.
Feels good to say that again. That's normally how I do it, and for the past couple of weeks, it's been all messed up.
Wow, way to hate Craig and Todd.
It just rolls off the tongue. I'm sorry.
Craig and Todd,
It was so many episodes of just saying that, and then I'm like,
stand?
oh, that was Todd.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I don't think it's broken.
It doesn't do anything. It just spins. Todd's a terrible human
It
being.
was definitely Todd. He claimed it went flaccid and couldn't fix it. So you got to spin the little thing, otherwise
Fuck
it doesn't lock. I
don't care
swear.
that much.
Anyway, this week we're going to be going over what we think will win, not what we want to win, but what we think will win for the Game Awards. Nominees have been announced. We're going to go through the categories, pick for most of them. We're not going to do all of them because some of them are like best Chinese game. I don't know.
Well, they do a lot of off-screen pick. Like they'll come back from commercial break. Here's what won while you were watching ads.
Here's
It's
the
like,
award.
what?
And there's a lot of like esports and stuff like that
They all go to Faker.
not sure.
Oh yeah.
So we're just
I watched all the games, but they lost.
we're just gonna go from the top down to best indie game. I think is where the cutoff was, and then we'll go through all those. So that's a lot. Then we're gonna be doing the predictions for either Game Award announcements and/or PSX announcements. And the reason we're doing that is because PSX, we still don't really know what's going on. They sort of were like, hey, for people that bought tickets on Friday, we're going to have a special show, not showcase, I forget what they called it, but like a special opening thing. And there'll be some announcements, and there'll be special guests, and people will come out and talk about stuff. And people are like, so is it a keynote like you've always been doing? And they're like, we're not calling it a keynote. So that to me says that it's a lot smaller. We might only get one or two announcements and then some just updates on things.
Yeah.
So with that said, feel free to pick choices that will be at the Game Awards, because that's where I actually think most of the stuff will be.
Well, it's weird too because of the Paris Games or Paris Games Week, whatever it was called.
Yeah.
That was basically like a mini PSX.
Yes, that I think the only reason, there's a lot of rumors about why they did that. I think they're not normally there. Like they've skipped it because of PSX, and a lot of people think that the reason that they did it this year is because the Xbox One X was coming out the next week, and Mario just came out, and Sony wanted to get news, take some headlines, so that they're leading into Black Friday, the news isn't all Switch
Mario
and Xbox. Yeah. So that seems to be the reason that they did it.
That's fair.
But anyway, so we'll do that, and then we'll hop into some questions and stuff that we got and kind of go back into the normal show. But we're going to start with these predictions. So, with all that being said,
Oh, Lord.
I have so many papers. I have like 9 things of paper.
Hey, you're organized.
Sure. Not really.
Just kidding.
Just
you
because it's
don't
a
know,
stack of stuff
you
doesn't
don't know
mean
what
it's
you're doing or
organized.
looking at.
All right. Well, the ink died
God,
when
your
I printed
printer
it out.
sucks.
Listen, man, it's the ink, not the printer.
No, it's the printer.
How do we want to start this? Do we want to start at the bottom and go up? I think that makes
let's
the
do
most
the ones
sense.
that we're not. I mean, what
I
are
think
the
that makes the
other
most sense.
categories? I guess
There's a lot.
just
Oh,
be-
my God.
Yeah, man, this is going to take a long time.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't have that kind of time.
Let's start at the bottom. Game Awards predictions. Best independent game. The nominees are Pyre, Night in the Woods, Cuphead, What Remains of Edith Finch, and Hellblade. I guess I'll start out with this one. I have a cheat sheet here of some stuff, so they're not all finished. I have Hellblade for this one. It's tough. We'll get into it more up here. I want What Remains of Edith Finch to get some recognition.
Yeah.
I think that is such a good game, but I also think that it might be one of the least played games on this list when you think about this committee that's brought together making these votes. I feel like a lot of them are going to be like, yeah, I played Cuphead, yeah, I played Hellblade, I played Pyre, and then I feel like What Remains of Edith Finch is going to be lost
To be fair,
in a lot of that
at
conversation.
least the things that Edith Finch is nominated for, I think this is its best bet.
You think independent game is its best bet?
Yeah, for the 2 or 3 categories that it's in, I
maybe.
think.
Yeah, it's in a couple. So I also have another strategy, and it was a decision I had to make, which is if I just keep voting for the same thing, eventually it's going to win some
there
of
we
these
go.
categories, and you can get some points. So my vote is going to Hellblade, and you will see a lot of Hellblade on that. Hellblade, I think, is going to win the most out of everything, actually, overall.
I think it'll
But
get a
we will
couple.
see. So, oh man, I hate that you have the same initials as me. All right,
We don't have the same initials.
we have the same initial.
First initial.
Yep,
1.
that's all
not
I'm
the
using.
Same initials.
1 and 1.
We'll keep going.
That's plural. You answer next. What are you thinking? Pyre, Night in the Woods, Cuphead, what remains?
I think
Hellblade.
Cuphead will win it. I want Edith Finch to win it. I did really like that game. I think Cuphead wins it just because of the amount of press it got and how well received it was.
It's got so much positive press, yeah.
It was extremely well received. And the art style, it's gorgeous. So
Oh, we'll talk about art style.
Will we?
Yeah, in a category that's going to break my heart, but we will.
Fair. I know why, yeah.
I have what I want to win is Pyre because that game is extremely underrated.
It is,
but it is in a very competitive category right there. Cuphead is going to take it, almost guaranteed.
Pyre's cool. I have Pyre. I need to play it.
Next up, for some reason they have best anticipated game. I don't know what that means.
Best?
How
do I know which one's best if it's not out yet?
I'm gonna go with they meant most anticipated game, as this is the list directly from the Game Awards. But anyway, Last of Us Part 2, Red Dead Redemption 2, Monster Hunter World, Marvel Spider-Man, God of War 4. So 3 Sony exclusives and then 2 third-party games. Kellen, what are you thinking?
Not my most anticipated, but probably what'll win is Last of Us Part 2. Just because how many people love that first game. Why? I don't know. That game's mediocre, but...
You're an idiot. See, I probably would have put that if they didn't put out that trailer at Paris Games Week. I really think that a lot of people didn't like that trailer.
It was an odd trailer.
And I think it kind of made the conversation from all hype to a little bit of like, you know what I mean? I almost think that the games that we know the least amount about are the ones that are going to win in this category because it's the ones where people can hype it up the most for themselves and then it comes out.
Well,
and
I
it's
think
it's when either that or God of War because it's sooner. And
also, a little nugget in there too is that we are for sure that 4 out of these 5 games are definitely coming out next year. So it's hard to have most anticipated for something that's just kind of floating. Like
because Last of Us is literally 2 years away.
Like if
they might as well have Death Stranding on the list.
It would win probably.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
That would take my vote. I personally would vote for God of War. I'm really excited for that game.
I'm putting God of War. No, I'm putting Red Dead Redemption. Sorry. I want God of War, but Red Dead Redemption is probably going to win just because it's more inclusive, I guess, with the amount of people that are interested.
I agree.
It's not just Sony people that are interested, basically. So
yeah, I agree for that reason. And like, you could announce tomorrow that it's canceled. I would not care one bit. But there's so many people that if a Rockstar game gets announced, it just headlines everything. So like you look at how much traffic stuff like that gets. So yeah, I got to give it to Red Dead. And if there's people who are like Xbox only, they don't have many choices. Though I will say, I can see everything getting divided and the Monster Hunter winning because they have such a dedicated fan base. And that's the soonest one that comes out in January, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so that also
and
builds
it's got
hype.
Aloy in it.
That's true. It does have Aloy in it.
She's all right.
Next up, Best Multiplayer: Fortnite, Call of Duty World War II, Splatoon 2, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Destiny 2, PlayerUnknown's Battleground. So my first thing is I don't understand why some of these have 6 nominees and some have 5. That's my first question.
Whatever.
But Nick, what are you thinking for this?
Destiny 2 is what I want to win. But like I don't think you're going to get Fortnite or PUBG because they kind of cancel each other out, sorta. So I think if you go down the list,
they both have 20 million players.
And
probably the same 20 million players.
The same streamers are playing.
Pretty close, except I've played one and not the other. So.
And I don't think Call of Duty did anything particularly interesting to like fly past all of these. Like it wasn't like Modern Warfare, basically. So by my process of elimination, I'm saying Splatoon 2.
Interesting.
Yeah,
that would be sweet.
I would be so happy if
I'd
that
be okay
were to
with
win. I, on the other hand, I looked at last year's and I saw Overwatch 1.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, it's going to be PlayerUnknown's Battleground because that's the most Overwatch style thing I've seen where everybody just talks about it and won't shut up. And that was Overwatch. So I think Battlegrounds. Also, Battlegrounds is nominated for Game of the Year. And it's kind of hard to be like, well, this game that is literally only multiplayer that is nominated for Game of the Year isn't the best multiplayer game. That doesn't make sense to me because that's all the game is. So I'm going to go with PlayerUnknown's Battleground.
That's fair. I want Destiny 2 to win it, but it won't. PlayerUnknown will probably win it, just because of how popular that game is.
Yeah, the popularity and like I really think the multiplayer thing, the fact that it is the only multiplayer only game out of all of those.
Well, Destiny 2 is Well, it has single player elements.
Yeah, Destiny 2 is a lot like a Battleborn. Like Battleborn is technically multiplayer only, but like you do the single player stuff
but it's supported
with
and
everybody.
good.
Yeah. There's still like a all right. I will let you know. I've been playing Battleborn all week.
I know.
It
was
works
in your
totally
PlayStation.
fine. I'm
So does
enjoying
Destiny
it.
2 and my internet cooperates. But,
Sure. The next one, best sports/racing game, because they're paired together. So we have Project Cars 2, Pro Evolution Soccer, NBA 2K18, GT Sport, Forza Motorsport 7, and FIFA 18. I think it is so weird to try and compare. I understand, like, you can be like, oh, racing's, a sport, and you put it with the sports games, but it's so weird to compare, like, a soccer game to a racing game.
to GT, yeah.
I guess I'm up, huh?
Yeah.
Sure.
So this is one of the ones that I'm, like, iffy on, because I think GT deserves it.
Yeah.
Probably.
But I'm going to pick Forza just because I hear way more about Forza
Really?
than
This one?
yes.
Everyone I know
I
that wanted Gran Turismo didn't actually get it. So
yeah, I
don't
hear
know.
way more about Forza than I do anything else, and I'm just going to pick it because I feel like, once again, this academy of YouTubers and streamers and these big things, I feel like they're all going to be more Forza people than Gran Turismo people. So that's what I'm going with, and it's one of my. I have a couple like ones where I'm like, I don't know on my list, and this is kind of one of them. I'm not confident in this one at all, but
Me?
yeah,
I'm going to give it to FIFA, mostly because I know that game gets a lot of stream support every year, because I've watched some of it. It's quite entertaining, and it's supposed to be a really good FIFA, too, even though I didn't get it this year.
This was the first time they added the single player story.
Yeah,
I
like the
guess.
story
Yeah.
thing to FIFA.
I want GT Sport to win it just because it's like the crown jewel of at least that genre. I don't know how sports and racing got meshed
it's the crown
together,
jewel
but,
of basketball.
but
NBA 2K.
I'm giving it to FIFA as well because it's like the world's game. Like every country
Yeah, that
has
game's huge.
soccer in it. So just because of the coverage, I guess.
Can't fault you for that. I'm so ignorant to sports games in general, and even more racing games. So I'm just like picking the one
this
that
was
I
the
hear
year of the
most
big
about.
wave of like everyone, like the Madden, FIFA,
Madden did
all
new
that's
stuff,
doing the
FIFA did new
NBA
stuff,
thing
yeah.
where it's got a story.
A story,
so.
yeah. Next up, best strategy game. Speaking of ignorance, XCOM 2, Tooth and Tail, Total War Warhammer 2, Halo Wars 2, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Kellen, what do you think about this category?
I think I've played one of these. Halo Wars 2, and it's not going to win.
Right, I agree with that.
It should win based on cinematics.
It has beautiful cinematics.
Didn't Blur do them? Did Blur do
I
them?
think so.
I know they did all the
Those guys
remaster
are crazy
collection.
good.
And
Yeah.
XCOM 2 is
They
extremely
pay like
highly
$1 million for 5 seconds of
Oh, yeah.
footage.
Yeah.
They're really good at it, though. I'd probably go to XCOM 2, though.
Same. Obviously, strategy games are kind of my wheelhouse, but not really this year. But XCOM 2, that's probably one of the most talked about games in recent years that I
Yeah, it's
haven't
been-
played.
So for me, I
It's
have
gotten
it.
crazy coverage, though.
I have it split between what is it? The XCOM and Mario Rabbids. But I'm gonna go XCOM since you guys are so confident. You can
Well,
help me,
just like on-
I want to buy Mario Rabbids because that game looks fun. But
yeah. I mean, it's just like miniature XCOM.
it's like
right?
a goofy thing to play on Switch every now and then. So
But like XCOM's just all over best of lists and just stuff
it
like
had
that.
several
so.
like 90 pluses, like reviews and like.
All right. Best family game. So Splatoon 2. This is basically a best Switch game. Splatoon 2,
Basically.
Sonic Mania, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, or Super Mario Odyssey.
Odyssey. I really shouldn't have to go too much into this, other than if you want to get super technical on family game, because Odyssey is just watch someone play it.
It's 2-player.
Fair.
He's
played it
shirtless.
two-player.
That's not
Um,
family friendly.
He's in his underwear too. That's not a
Oh,
swimsuit.
Lord.
Confirmed underwear.
So Mario Odyssey, but it wouldn't surprise me if Mario Kart 8 Deluxe got it, because they might go a little too hard on everyone can play, sort of thing.
No, yeah, I agree that that's kind of the decision for me as well. But I just don't. Once again, I think. I shouldn't say once again because I think I brought it up downstairs. But I think there's certain games that they want to give wins to that they realize aren't going to win in some of these other categories, and I think Mario Odyssey is
Mario
one of
Odyssey.
them. So I'm also giving it to the Odyssey.
I just want to be different. Mario Kart.
All right.
Because I really like that game. It's
I
really
do
good.
want to say, because I didn't bring it up and I forgot it and I always forget it and I'm very bad about this. We're putting the belt on the line for all these predictions. This
All
is like 40 predictions that
Good
we
God.
have right
Yeah.
now. And the winner of all of it is going to get the Press X belt.
I'm glad you have to
I
add
like
this up.
I like putting it up for the prediction stuff. And then
Is the belt in one piece?
yes.
Okay.
I
One, maybe
put
two.
it all together.
Sometimes three.
And it'll probably go away because we have predictions beginning next year that we did at the beginning of this year, and the belt's on the line for that too.
I
So
don't
you
remember
might
what's
just
in
lose
that
it.
folder.
I don't either. That'll be fun.
That was me, right? The shortest reigning champion so far.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
and then
actually
you
am
got the
keeping a
belt
tally.
after.
I've had it forever now, but it's because we haven't predicted anything. Because
Yeah.
Paris Games Week's weird. It was like on a Wednesday, and
Yeah,
I think that was. The
we'll
week I
be
wasn't
putting the
here.
belt on the line for other things besides predictions soon. So that's just my personal favorite.
Cal and I are actually going to fight.
Exactly. We're gonna do the live Danganronpa that
weapons.
we were talking about.
Oh, what do you mean no weapons? Bullshit.
Next up, best fighting game. Tekken
Damn.
7, Nidhogg 2, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, Arms, Injustice 2. So this one's me. So I, with all my heart, want to give this to Tekken 7. I
Yeah.
think Tekken 7 is not remotely close to the best fighting game on this list. That being said, I think Injustice 2 is going to win. I think it has the streamer support that I talk about. I think it still has the hype. They do all these character trailers and everything, like, constantly throughout the year. This game's been brought up in news stories and stuff. Whereas Tekken 7 only has 2 announced characters now, like, after the full year, and Injustice has 10. Like, that's a lot of news. I think Nidhogg 2 was disappointing to a lot of people because the art style was really
Yeah, they
weird.
changed a lot of it.
Marvel vs. Capcom, I don't think I even need to talk about. And I think ARMS is kind of restricted on a console, and that was actually pretty hit or miss with people, especially the motion control stuff. People weren't a big fan
ARMS
of that,
was
like
awesome.
the demos in the stores. So I'm going Injustice.
Because of the DC machine.
Yeah, but I mean, like I
That's
said,
part of it.
I think Tekken is so much better than Injustice. I think they're comparable. They both have a story mode. They both have a lot of content and a lot of stuff to do. They both have a lot of customization. And like all
Yeah.
that stuff is in both games. I just think as far as mechanics go, Tekken just destroys Injustice mechanic wise. But that's not what this is about. So
It is.
this is
Tekken
virtually
7, it is.
this is virtually a popularity contest, and I think Injustice 2 will win the popularity contest. So, what's yours?
Tekken 7?
You are putting Tekken 7.
Yeah, screw it.
I'm going to do Tekken 7 as well.
Ooh, I like it.
Because I'm hoping that, like
These
you talked
people
about,
play
as-
fighting games and
yeah.
know that Tekken's much better.
I hope they start bringing in some of the people doing the voting or decision making. Basically, I hope they're bringing in the people that are looking at Twitch streams and seeing like the hundreds of thousands of people watching the weekend tournaments, whether it's in Japan somewhere or just where like they have
Well, some of these
crazy
are crowd voted,
locations for Tekken because you have to wake up at like 4 a.m. here to see it.
You sure do.
But it's pretty much a beast as far as like Twitch goes and stuff like that. So I feel like I like your points of like there's constant news about it. It's not like getting overshadowed by anything. But when it's a weekend fighting game event and usually it's Injustice, Tekken, and then Street Fighter. So that makes me feel like they always put more emphasis on Tekken. So I'm kind
Well,
of
it's a better game.
I'm kind of just yeah.
I'm
I'm,
not
I'm
arguing
kind of
that.
just assuming that they're gonna bring in some people. It's like, no, man, this Tekken 7's the best.
And I'm like super DC fanboy over here.
yeah.
But Tekken is much better.
Better game, yeah.
So I'm hoping that's kind of where they go with it. But yep.
All right. Next up, this one is Kellen's to start.
Is it?
And this is, I think, one of the harder categories.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Best role-playing game.
Oh.
South Park, The Fractured Butthole. Final Fantasy 15, which is a carryover from last year because it didn't meet the cutoff.
Right. Okay.
Divinity Original Sin 2. Nier Automata. Persona 5.
I mean, I know what my vote is, P5, but
Sure.
the amount of hype and people that
This is a
love
hard category.
the amount of people that love Nier is
Oh, interesting.
crazy. I'm gonna give it to Nier. I think it'll win that.
I don't even think I put anything for it. Yeah, see, I left this one blank.
I just love to blame.
I'm like, I don't know. I took out South Park. Oh, no, I left South Park in it too. I have no clue.
I think Nier will end up winning it, not by much, but
I
poor P5.
South Park doesn't stand a chance in this category.
I
think
agree. If this was the first South Park game,
Yeah.
like if Stick of Truth didn't come out, I think it would. But I don't think it does right now.
Final
Oh, I also
Fantasy.
got South-
Final Fantasy is interesting. I know a lot of people were griping about it when it first came out because of like a certain
it's got
part
a-
of the story
a lot
where
of
it
bad
tanks.
press.
But now, at this point, there's all these
It is interesting.
There's the
expansions.
fishing.
Yeah, there's Monster Hunter, basically. But like there's expansions and there's chapters and story like that. So I could realistically see it winning, but I think a problem with it is people are going to be like, technically it was 2016, even though how they
Like technically, half these games aren't out yet, but
Yeah.
we'll get there.
That being said, I think I'm kind of falling in your train of thought from earlier, where I feel like there's a specific reason why this game is in this category and it's not in anything else, and
that's not the reason I thought you were going for.
Divinity Original Sin 2.
Interesting.
I think that's going to win it because, I mean, go look at reviews for it. I know, I won't say I overlooked it, but I mean, I had like a billion things to play this year, and the 80 to 100 hour grind classic RPG just
We'll talk about Divinity a little later. in
plays
the show,
second
so.
fiddle to it. But yeah, I think there's too much arguing going on between P5, Nier, Final Fantasy, where Divinity is
all
just like,
the
Yeah.
the weeaboo
Yeah.
crowd is gonna rip each
Yeah.
other apart.
So,
That'd be an
and-
awesome fight
And
there.
if you go like super
Best fighting
technical, like Original Sin 2 is like hardline RPG, whereas these other games are action RPG. So
B5's pretty.
Man, you
Pretty
convinced
close, yeah.
me, you unsold me, and you convinced me again all in one go there. And now I'm torn, and I almost just want to pick P5
just to be.
or Final Fantasy just
Mm-hmm.
to be different. I do want to give it to Nier because I do think that there might be a crowd that's like, we need to give Nier something.
Nier deserves to win an award.
But I'm gonna go with Persona off the back of my thing that I said earlier that Persona is nominated for Game of the Year.
Yeah.
So and its main category is an RPG.
Is it Nier also?
No,
Is it not?
no,
I thought it was.
no. So I'm gonna go with Persona based on the
I think it's
fact
game
that
design or
Oh,
art
game
design or
design,
something
that's
like that.
yeah,
in.
it's in a few more.
It's in, I know it's in a couple.
It's in
of them.
one that I think it has another shot at too. So I'm gonna go with Persona.
That's fair. I mean,
That'll be a fun one to watch and see what happens.
I like the
Next
fight
up,
idea.
in one of the categories I hate, best action adventure game. We have Uncharted: Lost Legacy, Assassin's Creed Origins, Zelda: Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Good God.
So, game of the year category. What do we
Just
got?
about.
Is it Nick?
Is it me?
I don't know.
Legend of Zelda. Because I kind of go with all of these, especially like with the family one that I mentioned to you, how I was thinking about it. If you think action adventure, that's literally all you do in Breath of the Wild is you wander around aimlessly and do just stuff. So that's about as action adventure as it gets. I think Uncharted Lost Legacy was good as far as like critical reception. It was good enough, but it wasn't like, oh man, this blew away like the Uncharted series. This is revolutionizing. We can't wait to see the next Uncharted with these people in it.
I can't.
Assassin's Creed has gotten good buzz, but I mean it's still an Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I think that hurts it.
That just having that name is a.
In Super Mario, it's action adventure.
Yeah, it's
but
weird.
Yeah.
I still
I don't-
think platform.
I
It's
love
just a
that game, and
flat-out 3D
it's a 3D
Yeah.
platformer, which isn't really a category anymore. Though this year you could have done it with,
Easily.
Crash and I can never remember. Did Ukulele? Not that it would be there, but did Ukulele come out this year or last year? I cannot.
this
Does,
year.
does it matter?
No, not really. There's a Bubsy game too. To be fair,
PUBG 3.
But and to
Hat in
go
Time.
through the rest of the list, I don't think Horizon can beat Legend of Zelda in anything where they're in the same category.
Interesting.
Unless it's like narrative, because Zelda doesn't have a story really, and voice acting and blah blah blah.
Oh, Zelda has voice acting.
Yeah.
Yeah, the grunts.
Yeah.
No, there's voice acting.
Um,
Everybody talks except for Link, I think.
but yeah, I give it to Legend of Zelda.
All right, well, I'm picking Horizon Zero Dawn. I think that this is one of those we want to give Horizon something. I don't think Horizon's going to get the top game of the year nod. When I think action, Horizon more fills that role to me than Zelda. Zelda has a lot of puzzles. Zelda has a lot of kind of wandering and exploring, and I feel like Horizon, like when I think action game out of these, Horizon, Uncharted, I can't speak too much on Assassin's Creed, but definitely not Mario or Zelda. Like those don't scream action to me.
Well,
Yeah, no.
And Horizon really does.
You're on the action part of the slash, and I'm on the adventure.
the
part
adventure.
Of the
Yeah,
slash.
that's fair.
Mario.
So I'm gonna go Horizon for that reason.
Yeah, I'll go Horizon because I think Mario and Zelda will cannibalize each other.
That's also true.
I think
Though I find it hard to believe that people would be like best action adventure Mario. Like that.
Yeah.
There's so much action in Mario. There's hats
I mean-
everywhere. Like, no,
Rabbids Kingdom is more action adventure than
I jumped on the
Odyssey.
Goomba's head. Yeah,
I made a big stack of Goombas and we jumped together.
Yeah, it's weird. Next up, just to make it more confusing, best action game, which does not have Horizon.
Yeah.
We have Prey, Neo, Destiny 2, Cuphead, and Wolfenstein 2.
Your turn.
So I'm going to give this one Destiny 2. I think a lot of people really like Destiny 2. I think they want to see Destiny 2 win something. Destiny fans seem very hardcore about their Destiny.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I
do
think,
not visit the subreddit for this game.
and I think that I don't think really Prey stands a chance. I think Neo is going to be not get enough votes or however it's done.
I think the Neo thing was just a nod to like, hey, you made a good game, but
Yeah.
Well done. Here's a
I could
nominee.
easily see Wolfenstein winning. But I'm going to go with Destiny straight off that, once again, streamer fan base thing. So Destiny 2 it is.
I really want to give it to Wolfenstein, but the reason I haven't finished Wolfenstein is because I've been playing Destiny 2, so I'll give it to Destiny 2. The game's incredibly good. They fixed every problem I had with the first game. Like they put it on PC. There we go.
That was a problem you had with the
I
first
also want to give it to Wolfenstein 2, but I'm going to give it to Wolfenstein 2 because it's awesome.
one. You threw me for a loop there.
Wait a minute.
I think Destiny's more MMORPG, so
They don't say it. They don't want to say it.
I don't know why.
Because they don't want to be compared to
just shoot
MMOs.
all you do
Because
is shoot in that game. You just shoot
if
all
you
the
do,
time.
They're paired
it's
with Blizzard.
shitty.
Why don't you just say
Oh,
it?
that's true.
You're in fine company if you want to say that stuff.
That's
but
completely true.
but I think action, like I just got done playing it, beat it yesterday. Yeah. And it is just like pure adrenaline ride. And then like, story cutscenes, whatever, and then you're just right back in it. So
Feel the adrenaline rush.
yes. So I think it'll get it just based off action.
Oh, the game's great. I need to finish it though.
Yeah.
Oh, Kellen, are you up?
I think so.
This should be fun. Best VR game, Kellen.
Oh Lord.
Best VR/AR game.
What are my options here?
Super Hot VR,
Maybe.
Star Trek Bridge Crew,
No.
Lone Echo,
No.
Farpoint,
Maybe.
Resident Evil 7.
That one. Resident Evil 7.
I think this is gonna be a sweep, but yeah, Resident Evil 7.
See,
I think Farpoint's got the best competition.
I disagree. I think
I think
Super Hot has the best competition.
Super Hot was going to win, but I forgot Resident Evil 7 was an option.
I'm really torn. I'm also picking Resident Evil 7 because I do personally think it's the best VR game. I'm like 50-50. I really think Super Hot
has a lot more
huge
coverage,
chance.
too.
That and it's on everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's
Yeah.
got
I just thought you meant
Yeah.
like video coverage. Yeah, like it's on everything, et cetera, et cetera.
that was sort of the reason I picked
know
Red
what?
Dead. So
Fuck it. I'm picking Super Hot. Super Hot. Fuck.
there's our first
For
bucket
best-
of the night.
For best VR game, whatever. I totally, as a huge VR advocate, I totally disagree. Super Hot's great, but Resident Evil 7's amazing.
You just want to be different.
But I gotta get some points somewhere. It's like the football
It ain't
thing you were
here.
doing. People just pick random stuff, they beat you.
Yeah.
I'm Super Hot. It is. Next up, Nick, best handheld game. Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World. God, this category. Monster Hunter Stories, Metroid: Samus Returns, Fire Emblem Echoes, Ever Oasis.
I want to give it to Fire Emblem Echoes because I think that's the best Fire Emblem in a while that we've had, and they come out pretty regularly now. But I think because people are so hung up on Metroid that they're just going to give it to Metroid: Samus Returns, even though it didn't really do all that much to like revolutionize or like
To be fair, it's
re-energize, I guess.
Very
the,
similar to
fan
Echoes.
base.
It's a
Yeah.
remake of
Yeah.
Metroid 2.
With 2, yeah.
But I think it's going to get that because, I mean, it had a system that came with it, or I guess a version of the system that came with it. Like, there's a bunch of hype. Metroid's the talk of the town now again.
Prime
since the,
coming to the Switch, yeah.
So I think it's people are going to ride that hype train on Metroid.
I agree. Also, I looked at Metacritic and saw what the highest reviewed games are. I'm also picking
really?
Metroid. I thought for sure Metroid would be one of the lower ones because that
Really?
game wasn't like super well received,
Yeah.
and a lot of people
Yeah, I
were
don't
very
know.
iffy on it.
I don't know many people.
And
that play
I
it.
totally was going to go actually Monster Hunter,
Mhm.
but then I just went to Metacritic and I looked, and it's one of the higher 3DS games. I was like, all right, that's
Yeah.
enough for me. The name plus the Metacritic, I don't know.
That's fair.
I don't play.
Yeah,
these
it's the hype
games.
train. I think that's going to get that one.
Where's my Vita games on this list?
Nobody plays Vitas.
And I guess the Switch isn't a handheld category.
No.
Okay.
Best handheld game would be Legend of Zelda.
Yeah,
That's fair.
that's why I'm confused, but whatever. What are you thinking?
I'm gonna pull a Kevin and just say fuck it, Fire Emblem,
I like
Good
it.
man.
because I really like that game. I like what they did with Echoes. I like the dungeon crawling stuff they added. It's a lot of
So
fun.
good.
It's a great game.
Next up. Oh, great. I got a great one. Best mobile game. We have
Sweet.
Super Mario Run, Old Man's Journey, Monument Valley 2, Hidden Folks, and Fire Emblem Heroes. I haven't played any of these.
I've played one of them.
I don't care to play any of these. One of these has Mario in the title, and one of them has Fire Emblem in the title. I have heard about Monument Valley, though.
One of them has Old Man.
I don't know what that is.
That's
true.
an old guy.
I have no clue what Monument Valley is, but I've heard about it. But I got to go with a Nintendo property here.
That's fair.
I'm going to go Fire Emblem.
Okay.
I don't have any reason. Kellen, what do you think?
I'm very upset with my phone. I had to wipe my phone the other day, and I lost all my Fire Emblem progress in this game.
It's
So for
not
that-
like a cloud thing?
It was if you took the time to sign up for it. I didn't. Because you had to put in like your Nintendo account stuff.
Yeah,
and I didn't know it off the top of my
I
head.
just did that for Animal Crossing. I signed up for that because I wanted to try the new mobile Animal Crossing just came out.
Yeah,
We
Nintendo
might talk
stuff's a
about that
pain
later,
when
too.
you need to log
you
in
have
over
to log
here.
in with your Nintendo thing. I'm
Yeah.
like, so out of spite, I'm picking Mario.
You might win.
I feel like Super Mario Run wasn't that well received when
Even
it
though,
came out.
even though it's a pretty good Fire Emblem game, by the way.
But Fire Emblem Heroes, because I'm kind of narrowing it down to the big names as well, unless they just have some pocket pick that I've never heard of. I haven't heard of those three middle games. But Fire
You haven't
Emblem
heard of
Heroes
Old Man's
was
Journey?
good.
I have heard of Monument Valley. I don't
Yeah,
know
me
why,
too.
but I've heard the name somewhere.
In fact, I'm not sure because I don't have them printed out. Actually, never mind. I don't even want to say that because I don't want to be wrong.
You're making up stuff.
I have done that before. It doesn't work very well. So I'm not even going to say it. Kellen, best ongoing game in the worst category. And I
is
vote this one
the
for
oddest-
worst new category they could
Yeah.
have
The
possibly
oddest
thought of.
category.
Once again, we have 6 games. Warframe, Rainbow Six Siege, Overwatch, Grand Theft Auto Online, Destiny 2, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
I'd like to write in League of Legends.
Dota, League of Legends.
Counter Strike, like
Yeah. Whatever.
This is an odd category.
Battleborn.
I think that I'll just give it to Overwatch. It's still played by a whole bunch of people.
they could have said just best online game
Sure.
or some online multiplayer game or
Yeah,
something.
like
Uncharted,
Warframe's like 3 or
Thor.
4 years old. Like I don't know. There's all sorts of weird things
'cause
going
I mean,
on here.
Yeah,
I think it. I will say I think it's very weird. League and Dota are not on this list. If this is a list you're
League
gonna
was
make.
on here. So I know where League's at. I think we're not doing it though. It was like best esport game. Or
Yeah,
yeah.
it was. Also, for the record, I was gonna vote for League for that.
Well, yeah. I mean, just look at the Twitch numbers.
Yeah,
for that.
Well, it was
And look at how they
League or
sell
the
out
other game with
soccer
League in the name.
stadiums,
Yeah.
Rocket League. Speaking of soccer,
Oddly enough, I think my dark horse pick would be Rainbow Six Siege because that game.
that game has
still-
legs. Yeah.
I came very close to
Um,
buying it because it was like $7.50 over
Yeah,
the
it's,
weekend.
it's super cheap. And I know that
It's supposed
like
to be a lot of fun. Like,
but like he could probably back me up on this. Like there's a Tom Clancy following where like those games are just supported. All the way back to like the original Rainbow game. But anyways, I think for me it's down to Overwatch and GTA Online,
Interesting.
and I want to say GTA Online is my
It's your
pick.
choice.
you
yeah.
want to say that? What are you gonna say?
Gonna say that.
Yeah, you fooled me once with that last time.
That I did.
Uh,
But yeah, GTA, just because, I mean, that's the only one out of this list where there's people like actually role playing and just doing weird stuff on Twitch and stuff like that. So like,
It's Grand Theft
they
Auto
pretend,
people. They're weird.
yeah,
I don't know. I've seen a lot of weird Overwatch stuff. With that said,
yeah.
I'm picking Overwatch.
Yeah.
And I am picking Overwatch because it won their Game of the Year last year.
Fair enough.
I think that means something. That means that at
And
least
it's
the
only
people,
better now.
the only
It's
the
got-
people
they've
that
added more stuff.
voted are still probably here, and I feel like they'll pick Overwatch again. interesting. Destiny 2 and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds both came out this year, and neither we didn't even bring them up.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Ongoing
this seems
game.
like a category to honor
this
olders.
game isn't out, and this came out 3 months ago. So how do you?
Or
Yeah,
a couple
that
weeks ago if you're a PC player.
Yes, whatever. Next up, is this Nick?
Yep.
Ooh, you got games for Impact.
Yep.
Oh boy,
Lord.
oh boy. So these are basically games that deal with some sort of present day social commentary or things like that.
I'm
Whatever.
full of that stuff.
Please knock on my door. Night in the Woods. Life is Strange Before the Storm. The game that is not finished. There's only 3 episodes out, so that's
And Nick
really
loved
cool.
Life is
And
Strange.
crap.
Bury Me, My Love. What Remains of Edith Finch.
That's just depressing.
And Hellblade.
I want Hellblade to win, and I'm picking Hellblade to win. I think this is its best shot.
This is the Hellblade category.
Just because, I haven't touched 4 of these. Definitely not playing Life is Strange ever. But,
I don't think anybody here
I don't know.
is,
It was
so.
just such a unique game, and it was fun watching other people play it and kind of dabbling in it too. There's so many voices going around in your head and stuff like that. I just feel like that's kind of a area that hasn't really been touched. But that's what this category's for. And kind of going off of what they picked last year, kind of their picks and the games that they were debating between last year. I think this fits a lot more with what I've seen out of their choices. So I think Hellblade's going to get it.
I agree. Continuing I'm going to pick Hellblade because it's going to win something. I haven't played Hellblade. I'm going to play Hellblade within the next few weeks because I think I'm going to love that game. But once again, I really want to give it to What Remains of Edith Finch. I loved that game, but I just think more people know Hellblade than What Remains. So,
What Remains of Edith Finch?
ooh,
Because that game was really good. It did a very good job of telling that story.
mm-hmm.
That house is so fucking cool.
I went through and played it again.
Yeah, the game's
really
great.
like that
It's
game.
really good. I'm very glad I played it. I'd like to go through it again.
I think word of mouth might be the deciding factor between those two, but I think it is definitely between those two.
Not Bury Me, My Love.
That's depressing.
Even though I'm sure if the
Honestly,
social media,
I was about
people
to say Life is
sway the
Strange
vote,
might just win.
Yeah,
To be fair.
and
Next-
it's not finished, like you said.
Next up, is this me?
yeah.
Man, I left this one blank because I was just gonna say whatever you guys said. Crap. Best performance.
Ta-da!
Melina Juergens for Hellblade, Laura Bailey for Uncharted, Claudia Black for Uncharted, Brian Bloom for Wolfenstein 2, and Ashley Birch for Horizon Zero Dawn. So I literally left this one blank because I was just going to pick what you guys picked. Because I am torn between literally 4 choices.
4 of those are
Well,
extremely
make
good.
one.
I think I'm going to eliminate Claudia. My personal choice would be Claudia for Chloe in Lost Legacy.
She's also in Destiny.
Destiny 2, yeah. She
But
sells me things from there.
She wants me to pay real money.
Yeah, she's
But
not getting it.
I think it's a little bit more. We've seen that character before, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, it's a known thing.
Laura Bailey is a big name and a newer character, so I think
And
she
awesome.
I think she has a shot. The Hellblade, she is that character with the way they did the motion capture and the video recording for that. And then I think Ashley Birch is another big name, and Horizon is a big named game right now. I really want to pick Laura, but
because-
I almost feel like she doesn't. This is so tough. I was literally just gonna pick what one of you guys picked.
Sucks.
Man,
That belt's gonna look good on me.
just wait till we get to the other predictions. All right, I'm gonna go. I'm going Hellblade.
Okay.
I'm going Hellblade. I mainly because if they had last year to do the Uncharted stuff with Uncharted 4,
Yep.
so they could have been in that. Wolfenstein, I'm too ignorant to say, but I've always thought that first-person games with voiceover stuff for first person's a weird disconnect, and the other ones are third person, so it makes more sense. Horizon could totally win, but I'm gonna go Hellblade. We'll see what happens. Probably not winning this one. Once again, I'm just picking Hellblade for everything that's in. It's got to win something.
So I'm down between Horizon and Wolfenstein, because the Wolfenstein cutscenes are either very important or hilarious.
Why no
Like-
Uncharted from you?
I just think that game got overlooked a little bit this year.
I agree. People forget that an Uncharted game. Like, even last week, I was talking about games that came out this year, and I was like, all these continuations of all these series that I love. I left out Tekken. I left out Uncharted. I left out, there was a Mega Man collection this year. Like, there was tons of
nobody
games
likes
that I
Mega Man.
left
Forgets
out.
Mega Man.
Everybody leaves out Mega Man.
All right.
Yeah, it was like
Anyway.
a short. It was very good, but short Uncharted that just kind of.
It was like 7 hours.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of. But there's no Drake in it. So
My
it's
big thing on that was that it's optional. Kind of like it's kind of like an expansion. So
it's
you
not
can
optional. It has Chloe in it. You have to play it.
It's true.
She's not the best.
All right, that's it for this
You're,
episode.
you're surrounded. I'll give it to Horizon though. I think this is their way of getting Horizon a win. Somewhere.
I don't disagree with you. Yeah.
I desperately
Looks like you did.
want. I desperately want Brian Bloom from Wolfenstein.
He's so good.
Because especially in this game, he's a lot more like in his head. Some stuff happens between 1 and 2, and
He says
he's
some
kind
dumb
of
stuff.
reflecting on it.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got a lot of like sincerity in his actual acting, and then he just says some dumb shit that's hilarious.
I will also say
He's awesome.
this category is best performance.
Yeah.
Not best voice acting.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, I consider.
I
one and
really,
the same.
I'm just saying for Horizon, I actually think that hurts. I don't think Aloy does much, like,
That's
performance-wise.
fair.
She kind of just
Yeah.
stands there and talks.
Um,
And I also think that gives the Uncharted people way more power in the choice. But anyway, keep going.
and I think the longer I've heard you guys talk about it, I'm still gonna just stick with Wolfenstein.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to say transform because that's a big word for something kind of as goofy and off the wall as Wolfenstein can be. But it goes from like serious military gruff guy saying, yeah, eat shit, as you stomp a Nazi, to like, he's actually sincere, he's reflecting on shit.
Nazis are so uncool.
He's like very inside his
Is
own
that a
brain.
line from the game?
So,
It's from Robot Chicken, actually.
Oh, okay.
but
Close enough.
I will
Same
give it to
thing.
Wolfenstein, but I can see Hellblade winning easily.
So
Just because, like you said, it's the full experience of the mocap and all that stuff too.
He's so good, Wolfenstein. It's awesome.
Oh,
Kellen,
yeah.
best audio design.
Oh, Lord.
Destiny 2, Hellblade, Resident Evil 7, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey. Good luck.
Go through those again?
Mario Odyssey, Legend of Zelda, Resident Evil 7, Hellblade, Destiny 2.
Oh,
Best
God.
audio design, not best music, not
Yeah, just
best
audio.
just audio design.
I mean, the one I have the most experience with is Destiny because I play that game a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's winning any audio awards, though.
I agree.
I don't know.
I mean, they're very good. It's
Yeah.
extremely good, but what I've heard of RE7, I'm gonna give it to RE7
Interesting.
because they do some good stuff with their audio, especially in that
Horror
house.
games rely on audio
Yes.
quite a lot.
Yeah, I mean, they do a really good
All
job.
the-
With
If
it.
you have bad audio, it is the difference between being scared and not caring.
And laughing.
Well, yeah, even the difference
Or like if your
between-
steps are really loud when you're walking through this
Oh
whole
my god.
even
That
the
was a
difference
great
between
bug.
playing with headphones on and speaker too
Mhm.
is a big thing too.
Yeah, like I play a lot of Destiny with my expensive ass headphones on, so it sounds really good. But
Yeah. It's kind of a weird category, especially since music is probably next or close to it.
Oh, what's next?
I don't feel like the Nintendo games really have much of a dog in this fight.
I don't think Zelda does. I think
They-
Mario
Mario has
can
really
make
good sound
You
design,
can
but-
make an argument.
from hearing what I've heard of you playing, it sounds really good. But
I mean, it's like nothing like revolutionary. It's like more like what you kind of expect.
Ka-ching.
but
You
it's
got a coin.
But it's bright and colorful and
Yeah. But
It
I
fits it.
think,
Yeah.
kind of going back on what I've already said and seen and witnessed on
The Witness.
Hellblade, I think what I just mentioned 2 minutes ago with like all the voices in your head and stuff like that's hard to do and not just make it sound like a jumbled mess. There's a lot of engineering that has to go into it. And like I said before, I think when I talked about my favorite streamer playing it, future Kellen playing it, was
I
that he
can't
was
time
sitting
travel yet.
there fighting an enemy, and then you hear one of the voices go, behind you. Like, just
Mhm.
kind of softly, not like, behind you. And it's not like Ice Cube yelling at you and, like, Call of Duty loud, but, like, it's like behind you, and then he turned around and like parried it and stabbed the enemy, and like he would have had no clue because of how like close the camera is.
Yeah, it's very
to
close.
your character. It's just cool things like that, and then like like a look over there or something like that when you're kind of going through not really puzzles, but like navigating your way through the areas, and I think that's what kind of sells it on.
Did you say Ice Cube was in Hellblade?
I think for me personally, I think this is.
UAV ready.
I think this is the easiest one. I think Hellblade wins this one. I don't think this one's going to be close. Actually, if I were to bet on one of my categories, I think this is the one I'd pick for.
Put money on it.
Hellblade audio design. I really do think that, and it's actually the reason I think it might not win some of the other 8 categories I nominated it for. Is because I do think it's going to win this one.
I mean, that's
absolutely.
this game's like spine is all the voices it had. It's pure audio design. So,
all right, next up, I think going to be one of the most brutal of selections. Who starts this one?
I just started, so
Nick. Best score / music: Destiny 2, Cuphead, Nier, Legend of Zelda, Super Mario, Persona 5.
I am going to cross off Cuphead first because
Wow, really?
Fallout games have this type of music. It's nothing brand new.
That's
I
fair.
think the thing with Cuphead is the visual design. I don't think the audio is what drives it home. And I played, like the.
You're
I
always
think we
one
were
step
having.
ahead of us.
I think we were having like
This
a
guy.
game night or whatever, and I put on the Cuphead soundtrack, and we weren't just like, oh my god, this
Yeah,
is
it's
sell
good.
me on the game. It's pretty cool. I
it's
mean,
cool.
we've heard
Good
it in
background
Fallout
music.
games. We've heard it out in BioShock games.
I was about to say BioShock.
They have the old timey music, so it's like nothing new. It's just the visual design of like these like 30s, I guess, where it's like holy crap. Like my grandfather wasn't even alive during this type of stuff. Some people,
No, everybody.
but
Across the board.
I think that's a easily like trap. I guess that's the trap pick for this one, and I don't think
It's a
Cuphead
trap?
is musically that great. Destiny 2's music, however, is amazing. It's I don't remember a song from Destiny 1, but this game's like full orchestra.
Destiny 1
If
uses
I
the
re-
same song.
If
they
I
just
remember
change it every
correctly,
time.
they got rid of the team from Destiny 1
Yeah.
and got a new team.
I think
It's-
Destiny 1 used the same song every time, but they changed tempo. And sound
I haven't
effects.
listened to the soundtrack on its own, but like for me, it feels up there because especially it being Bungie, it's up there with like the old Halo soundtracks. Like this is really good.
I do know Halo.
Everyone knows that.
Nier Autonomous got decent music. I mean, everything on here's got
Decent.
decent music. If it's gonna make this list, I like.
That's 2 strikes,
I'll-
Nicholas. This Danganronpa thing's looking bad for you. People who don't know, Danganronpa is a story where a bunch of kids kill each other.
I don't think
We're
Zelda
gonna kill
or
Nick.
Mario.
Is the moral of this
Basically,
story.
I don't
That's
think
gonna
Zelda
say.
or Mario did anything to revolutionize their soundtracks. It's the same old stuff. Maybe just.
I don't understand
spruced
why
up a little
Zelda's
bit.
in it.
Yeah, I don't
Zelda
either.
barely has music.
I didn't hear anything in Zelda.
Zelda has hints of its tour, and music really only plays during
Yeah.
like battles.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it.
But
Mario's music's great.
This is the one category
Got a theme
where
song.
Persona 5 doesn't win, which is what I'm picking.
That's what you're picking.
Yeah, if it doesn't, like, I feel like I would rush the stage if I was there. Like something
That can
is
be arranged.
something is terribly wrong if Persona does not win this category because I mean, there's memes all over the internet with you'll never
The
see
people
it coming.
dancing and-
Yeah, like
yeah.
this just.
Nep.
If it was Persona 4, like obviously it's better than those games also, but like it wasn't as culturally accepted yet. P5.
Okay, I'll accept that answer.
P5 is kind of in there finally. Obviously, it's making a list a couple of times.
It's in
It's on a few things.
4 categories.
Yeah,
or something.
so just to see that game getting the nod's cool, and I think this is its category for sure.
I am going to agree, but I think it's going to be way closer. I am a little scared that Nier and Persona might cannibalize each other a bit. And once again, there's 2 Nintendo games it's competing against. I feel like if Persona's going to win something, this is its category, though.
Yeah.
And out of the faith of the humanity, I'm picking Persona. That being said, I love Nier's soundtrack. I've
Yeah.
been reading a lot of comments on this stuff. A lot of people are like, Nier soundtrack, better songs than Persona. Persona has some weak songs. Nier, every song is great. And I'd be like, yeah, probably. But I also think Persona has 4 times the amount of songs as Nier.
One of
Dude,
these
you-
games is cutting 6 vinyls for me. One of them's not.
Well, you can. I mean, just the fact that you can sing along with Persona and get that you'll never see it coming stuck in your head.
Oh,
Versus
you can sing Nier.
what the Village song.
you can sing that song.
Bunch of la
You
la
can sing
las.
the credit song. You can sing the the chant.
I think
Sing the
I listened to it today
Nier's,
too.
Nier's good, but it's not like as
This cannot continue. That's it. This cannot continue.
yeah. It's not as like in your face good. Whereas, I mean, it's not a flashy game.
Yeah.
So Persona being in your face and
I agree. This is my faith in humanity on this one. So.
Yeah, P5. Like,
All right.
I'm like,
We're
I
gonna
don't
be all
understand
very
how
disappointed.
Zelda was on there.
Yeah,
I, heard-
it's very strange, and it's a 6 category. Like you could literally just remove that.
and no one would notice.
I felt like I heard like trees rustling more than I heard music in that game.
Yeah, like every once in a while you hear like
There's the flute, man.
and like you're like, ooh, it's the song. Oh, they stopped.
Wasn't there a big bird?
There's
playing,
a bird that plays an accordion.
accordion. That's what it was. It wasn't a flute.
Same
Wrong
thing.
Zelda game.
They're pretty close.
But no, yeah, he was awesome because he was out in the rain just do
Yeah.
and he had a puzzle for you.
My turn.
That too. Yes.
I'm taking it anyway. Best art direction. This one is rough. Destiny 2, Cuphead, Legend of Zelda, Persona 5, Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm gonna eliminate Horizon and Destiny because they're more
They're-
like realistic.
They're just good graphic.
I do think Zelda has great art direction. I think it's very pretty. That being said, I don't think it competes with Cuphead or Persona. I think Persona would have won if Cuphead didn't come out.
Correct.
But I think Cuphead is just way too easy to look at it for 3 like somebody who doesn't know it can look up a picture of Persona and look up a picture of Cuphead and go, oh yeah, Cuphead. Like
Yeah,
that's
they
all it takes. And that's part of my music debate too. I think you have to play through a whole game to understand a lot of the stuff. With music, I can play you 2 songs from each game really quick, and you can decide which ones you like better. Like I could play you 2 Persona songs, and you'd probably convince you.
And they sound like pop songs.
Art direction, I can show you a frame of Cuphead, and you'll be
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, that'll win." So
Well, that
I'm
looks
picking
awesome.
Cuphead.
Yeah, Cuphead.
Okay,
I mean,
I'd
game looks
like
great.
Persona to win.
I would too. It's very
It-
flashy.
it
It's
should
awesome.
win everything.
The
but
thing
it's like,
with the thing with art direction with that game
it should win
too
best action game.
is the simple stuff like navigating between menus, having him holding up his hands and stuff like we talked about it the first probably 3 months after we started
And
playing
we
it.
need to talk about it a bunch more.
Very
soon.
was that like
Maybe
it
for
was just a
Christmas.
joy
very
to
soon.
just go in the menu and just flip around to stuff. Like I've never said that about a game. I don't
Yeah.
think.
Like you go to the
Well,
Uh,
menus are
store,
so important in RPGs, and sometimes they're like messy or whatever,
Yeah.
and sometimes they're interesting. Like I think Niers is interesting how it's all a computer screen
yeah.
and it's like your interface, and that works. But Personas are just awesome.
Yeah.
Like they're so flashy and so great. And Danganronpa, I think, took a lot from Persona
Yeah.
when they put out their new game. Their menus were very flashy.
I
too.
think also just like the way messages pop up, the way people are talking, and the
they
quote
rip
boxes.
through the screen.
Yeah, just like everything like
good.
that. It truly should win because I think Cuphead is just kind of like a drop in the pond sort of thing. Like it's just
That's great.
it's
all hand-drawn.
It's
It's all
awesome.
hand
yeah.
drawn. That's why I give it.
It's awesome and it's unique. I just don't think you can make games after that. It's like another 1930s game, another 1930s game. I think it's just like a one and done sort of thing. I mean, there might be a Cuphead 2.
Well,
You can go down that
honestly,
route,
are
but
you
Buckethead.
arguing for Persona or are you arguing for
I'm
Cuphead?
arguing for Persona.
I was
but
going to say, I think that's a plus for Cuphead. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's in
Yeah.
a league of its own
It's
now.
so nice and hard to do. They only do it once. So
but I don't really know what game and art direction mean. Like, I don't know if you're going forward or just you're just all focused on one thing as far as direction goes. Either way, I'm giving it to Cuphead
Okay.
because that's all this game is pure art.
Either way, I'm giving it to Destiny 2.
after
All
all,
right,
this,
Nick.
Horizon Zero Dawn,
No, I don't know why Destiny is in art direction.
because it has really good graphics.
Yeah.
That's
Kellen,
Kevin.
best narrative.
Oh,
Good luck. What Remains of Edith Finch?
Jesus,
Nier,
no.
Hellblade, Wolfenstein 2, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, I think this is one of the tougher ones.
So this is like 3 of my favorite games this year, and 2 games I need to play.
Mm-hmm.
I'd really like to give this to Edith Finch because that story is excellent.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I'm going to give it to What Remains of Edith Finch.
I like you.
Somebody has to. Because I love that story. It's extremely well told.
It is.
And the way it's told is really
It is
neat.
the most happy, depressing thing I've ever seen in
It's
my
so
life.
cool. You get to do like fun mini games and you realize how terrible this
Yeah,
game
it's just
you're
like
doing.
horrible things are happening, and you're like, yay!
Yeah, like I'm playing on a swing. Oh my god.
What's this bubble bath? Oh,
Oh
no!
my god. No, get me out of here. Nah, I that story's narrative is incredible. So he gets the nod.
I think Wolfenstein's narrative is cool and should be noted. I'm glad it made this list.
It should be nominated just because of how cool it is and how well done it is.
It's really cool, but it's also really quirky and stupid. So
what do you
it's
mean?
kind of all over the place compared to some of these other games where Horizon's mostly serious, Nier's mostly serious. Edith Finch, I'm guessing, is a little bit lighthearted take on serious, but
it killed me on the inside.
Hellblade would be nice, but I think the other categories that we've already breezed through that it's been in, I think that's where it gets its power from and not so much narrative, because you kind of have to read between the lines, I guess, with this sort of game, and it's not just like spoon-fed to you. And speaking of which, Nier, which is the one I'm picking, I think...
Really?
I think it's going to get best narrative. I think as far as Nier categories go, for me, I think this is its best bet.
My children here.
My children.
That being said, you do have to jump through a bunch of hoops, play it a bunch of times to get the full grasp of it.
Oh,
so it's more like a book where you kind of have to dig in and reread it and go through it a few times to talk to other people that have played it. But I think this is Nier's best shot in the categories that it's in.
All right. I like what you guys did. I like that you picked two of my favorite games this year. I think Nier should win.
Yeah.
However, I'm picking Wolfenstein. I think that they're going to want to give Wolfenstein something. People really do like that story.
It's awesome.
They are having a lot of fun with it, and it's super recent. It's right in people's memory. Like, what remains in Nier were like March or April or whenever that was.
Well, and too, it hit a, I guess, a trigger for some people too, with sort of the social landscape of the country.
Sure.
And it just happened to fall in place with what they've been doing for 20 years.
So
about killing Nazis.
I will be ecstatic if either of your two choices wins, but I'm gonna pick Wolfenstein.
There's almost not a wrong option. I think
Horizon's.
I think
the
Horizon's more
option.
gameplay than it was.
Yeah,
I love Horizon's backstory, but I don't really count that as the way the narrative.
Yeah, and it doesn't like.
I love that universe.
It's my
that
huge
world.
issue that I have with even as I'm playing Skyrim with like the story where. Like, yeah, this is very important. All the stuff's happening. You're learning all these things. But then I go and talk to this guy, and they're like, hey, can you get me some metal, and I'll build you a bow?
Like,
yeah,
listen,
sure.
I got to go save the world, but first I need this statue up in
This
the mountain. I'll be
chicken
right.
is causing me problems. Can you please put it back in the
I
pen?
need to go get the frying pan for the old lady.
Yeah, it's like Skyrim that I'm playing through Skyrim VR, and, you know, the Dragonborn, all this stuff, the shouts, all these things. I'm a very important person.
So do you actually shout
all this
when you
stuff
do it in
is...
VR?
No, they're adding that, but it looks really cool when you do it. Cause
that's what I said before. When it came out, I had the Xbox Connect, and I was sitting there, and like whoever would walk by, would be like, "What are you doing?" Because obviously it's not in English where you're just like fire and
You're
like
yelling Fusrodan.
Yeah,
so.
you're yelling Fusrodan, words that are a whole lot harder to say than that.
That's just the one I know.
Yeah.
But I'm going through it. You know, I'm doing the
donkey
story. I'm this huge important person or whatever, and then like. I'm going turning into a werewolf and getting married and buying a house. What are you doing? There's dragons.
There's stuff to do. I gotta get married first. Hold
I gotta get married to this
on.
chick.
There's stuff to do. I gotta find this statue.
Next up, best game direction. I don't know what that means. Their website says what that means, and I just think it means that like it feels like I guess it was like planned out and executed.
Best storyboard.
I took it
kind of.
because I mean I was saying the same thing with art direction. Like I don't know what direction
art
means.
direction. I understand. It's just artistic.
Does
direction.
the art go up or go around?
But my thing
It went to the right.
That's a pretty good direction.
My thinking was like they had an idea and it sticks to the idea fundamentally better than the other games in the category. Is kind of what you're saying when you deliver the envelope or trophy or whatever to them.
Trophies.
Trophylope.
I'm not really gonna make. It's on me.
Do you want me to read the nominees?
Sure.
Okay.
Good, 'cause I don't know
Wolfenstein
what they
2,
are.
Resident Evil 7, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, Horizon Zero Dawn. Same game.
These sound familiar.
It'd be nice if Horizon RE7 or Wolfenstein got it. And I'm not like that anti-Nintendo. It just I don't really see what they did new. But anyways,
the way I have my list, I don't have. I guess family friendly. Like I didn't pick Mario for stuff. I think that might be a mistake.
Legend of Zelda is what I'm giving it to.
So this one's tough because I think Legend of Zelda is going to win, and that's what I'm going to give it to as well. Just because people are like, it changed how Zelda was, blah blah blah. They changed literally the direction of the game changed from what they normally did. That being said, so did Resident Evil 7. They toned down all the action. at least until this DLC comes out. They toned down all the action. They went back to the horror.
And if
I
you think
love
about
that.
it, when they announced RE7, how they had to do the biohazard thing, but like droop in the 7 to make it kind of work like that. If you showed a new Zelda game, even if it, you didn't have the title, like you would know it's Zelda. If you showed a Mario game, you know it's Mario. When he pops in Horizon, we're kind of just still introduced.
If you
to
did
the
a new
franchise.
one, though, it'd be
It'd
pretty
be pretty
obvious.
obvious. Like when they
There's
showed
a robot dinosaur.
Yeah,
We're done.
Yeah. Same thing with Wolfenstein. Oh, Nazis! I bet I know what this is. But RE7, like it could have been any game in the horror genre. But they did like a 180 on it, and from what I understand, the Resident Evil system now is like based on VR, so it feels like they're gonna do that going forward. So I feel like RE7 should have a strong presence.
I really want RE7 to win as game direction, but I think people are just so high on Zelda. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think this is the Zelda category for it to get something, but
For it to get something.
it's not getting anything else. This game sucked.
Ooh. All right, let's move into the final one. I get to start, huh?
Yep.
Game of the year: Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, PUBG, not out yet.
It's not released.
Persona 5, Horizon Zero Dawn. I am picking Zelda. I think people still talk so much about Zelda. Mario came out. I feel like it's higher praise for Zelda than Mario still in the conversation, even though they both reviewed at a 97 Metacritic. I think people seem to, at least the faces that I watch, seem to prefer Zelda more. Because Mario is just more Mario that is like perfected, and Zelda was this brand new direction that I was talking about. People are going to compare. I think I talked about it the week Mario came out. People are going to compare stuff to Zelda for so long now. All these games that come out in the next few years are going to be compared to Zelda. No one even tries to make games compared to Mario. Like nobody tries.
Yeah, why would you compete with Mario?
So I think it's going to be Zelda.
That's fair. And wrong, but fair. I still think Mario and Zelda will cannibalize each other.
Okay.
I think P5 is here just because the people like P5.
Yeah, you think it's a respect thing?
It's a respect thing. I wish it would win, but it's not going to. What the hell is PUBG doing here? What the fuck is that?
To be fair, I almost picked PUBG. That'd be my backup
That
just
game's
because
incredibly popular.
Overwatch won last year.
And that
One game of the
game's
year
very
last year.
popular. I literally watched a stream of PUBG last night. The game's really good, but I think Horizon's going to win this.
Interesting. That would be incredible to me, honestly.
I really hope it does. I think it deserves it, but there's several games on the list that deserve it.
Of all games, I feel like Horizon, and not my personal bias, but I think just kind of the people that we're going to be watching and who most likely make the picks, I feel like it's got the worst chance of winning out of all those. Because I feel like Persona 5's just got this
Horizon?
it's sort of like this like Cinderella story sort of thing going for it. Overwatch won last year, so anything's really possible. I think PUBG.
The Overwatch community, the Persona community.
I know, but I don't know. There's just there's that one pick because there's not too many games on this list where like it's a long shot and it kind of makes sense. But yeah, it does feel honestly like it's like a good job. You made a good game.
Your game's
everyone's
great,
talking about.
and not enough people play it, so we'll put
Honestly, I feel like PUBG, I don't know if they show, like if there were 10,000 votes, if they show the breakdown after online or something like that.
I wish.
I don't know if they
It'd be
do.
funny.
I feel like PUBG is going to get a strong second.
2?
Legend of Zelda. I think Super Mario's third, like pretty much how you have it almost if you swap Super and PUBG. But yeah, I think PUBG's just got this like, basically, like you said, the YouTuber and streamer sort of audience that kind of factor in to this as well.
Yeah. If PUBG wins, I'm gonna riot. Like it's not even
Riot
out
Games?
yet.
Well, there's his rush the stage thing. Mine was Persona not winning audio.
I'm gonna write in League of Legends for Game of the Year.
That'd be amazing. And a write-in category has won.
There's only one vote, and it's the kid that wrote in League of Legends.
Yes. All right, so those are our predictions for the Game Award nominees, who we actually think is going to win.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot of fun to watch that and see what happens.
See how terribly, terribly wrong I am.
I think I'm going to get like half of these right, but it'll be fun. So now, with that said, let's go ahead and do our predictions for Game Awards / PSX announcements that we think will happen.
I will preface this by saying I'm not going to pick which event it is showing.
No, you don't.
None of
have
us
to.
are.
If it just happens, you get it.
Yeah.
If it happens by the time we film the show afterwards,
I don't
you
want
got
that.
it.
I don't want to be.
If it
that
happens in 2017 or 2018,
unless they decide to go to a random European country and do an event.
All right, here we go. I guess we'll do
Paris.
the
they're
same
just in London
Yeah.
talking about
way that
game.
we were going. My first prediction. I've been talking about God of War all this whole time. I've been like, God of War, all the God of Wars have come out
Yeah.
in March. Every single one's come out in March. Damn. This God of War has got to be coming out in March. My prediction is that God of War is coming May 2018. I don't think it's going to make March. I think they would have revealed it by
I
now.
can delete Spring God of War 4.
Well, no, I think it said early 2018 was their thing, but we'll see.
Yeah,
Yeah, they were early, 2018.
Yeah, I think it's going to be May. That's when that's when Uncharted came out, Uncharted 4. I think they want that same window. So that's
fair.
That's my choice.
Is it my turn again?
Yeah.
I really want this to happen. I'm fairly sure it won't, but it has a decent shot. I think they will show and announce a new Ratchet and Clank game.
Ooh. That's ballsy.
That game was well received, and I think they want to keep that going. Because Crash was this year, I think they'll come to Ratchet again.
That'd be awesome. Insomniac does it, which is I feel like they're doing
They're
Spider-Man.
kind of busy, but I don't care.
But that would be sweet.
Not
They
released,
did.
they're going to announce it.
To be fair, they did do
Tease it,
like
basically.
Yeah, it'll
they
be
did do
shown
like
off.
Sunset and Ratchet and Clank right next to each other.
Yeah.
Like those
Yeah, it's
came
not
out
coming out
really
next year.
soon,
They're going
yeah.
to show it, though.
I'm alright with that.
I just want another Ratchet and Clank game. That game was sweet.
This one's wishful thinking.
My first prediction: Red Dead Redemption 2 gameplay, actual gameplay, whether it's cinematic or some. I don't think there's going to be some guy with a controller on stage, but
never
gameplay
good.
trailer and release date
Ooh.
of June 2018.
Ooh.
Well, there goes that one.
I'll do month. I don't think we need to fight days unless
No.
we get down that nitty.
And we're only doing 4 predictions each for
Yeah.
these, so
I'm already, half of mine are gone already.
fun. Well, I'll spring that on you when we get there.
Ooh.
Next up, we know Dreams is going to be there. Media Molecules already tweeted Dreams is going to be there. I think Dreams releases within 3 months. I think that they are. You need to shit or get off the pot, as they say. Nobody cares
As
about Dreams
they
anymore.
say. Correct.
Come out. This is what the game is. I hope you're excited. It's coming out in February.
The 3 people who still care.
Like it comes out by the end of March. Is my
Okay.
prediction. Kellen.
It's been a little while since they talked about this, so I think they will show off some of the whatever Square Enix Avengers, whatever they're doing with that.
Ooh,
I think we will see that.
that's just for PlayStation, isn't it?
I don't think so.
Don't think so.
I just know they hadn't shown it in a while.
Oh, put that on the wrong. Damn it.
Huh. I'm not Nick.
Yeah, somebody was pointing out in a video I was watching, like Square has so many good things coming up from their
Yes.
Final Fantasy VII remakes, their Kingdom Hearts,
Dissidia?
the new Tomb Raider game, their Avengers stuff. Like they have a lot of big projects.
There's a lot of big titles there.
Yeah. Nick, pick a small prediction so that it fits in the box I screwed up.
You know what? I feel like I did so good on my game picks that I can go a little crazy here.
Wow. All right.
Resident Evil 2 remake.
I didn't even think about that.
Next year is the 20th anniversary.
Damn, he's on top of it.
I don't know if I want to list all these because then I might get like a third of a point. But
No,
I'll just say
I think that is a totally fine
Resident
pick.
Evil 2 remake.
Especially because we know that they aren't doing a huge show.
Yeah.
So I think just like a trailer or whatever, you get the point. Like, it's
but
fine.
yeah, teaser trailer for that, and it's coming out next year. Because, like I said, 20th anniversary.
I like it. Next up, I got the 2 I was worried about. Spyro the Dragon collection revealed. Damn it! I think it's time.
Running out of options.
You can
I
find
don't think
dates
I
if
don't
you
think
want.
they're going to have a huge announcement at this thing because they are downplaying it so much. I think this might be the big announcement. I think they might be
Yeah,
like,
this is like the mic drop thing
Here's
if they do it."
updates here's release dates for games that you guys already know about, and here's the announcement, Spyro Collection's coming. They might not even have a trailer. It might just be the logo like they did for Crash. But I think we're just going to... It'll be confirmed that we're getting a Spyro Collection.
Yeah, that'll be like the mic drop moment if they decide to do that.
Running Kellen out of ideas. I like it.
I got like 2 left. I'll go with this one. I thought my Spyro would be a good one, but no. Super Smash Brothers for the Switch.
Ooh, you think that's going to be a Game Award announcement?
I think they'll do fighting game and be like, oh, by the way, next year you'll be able to play Smash on your Switch.
Not going to add it to this. Do you think it's just a port of the other one or a new Smash?
I think it'll be a port and then it'll include all the DLC.
They are.
That's what I hope.
Smash
I hope
Deluxe.
it's just like Deluxe.
It
Exactly.
feels like if they don't announce it within the next X amount of months, like 3, 4, 6 at most, then it's a port. But if they announce it after that kind of time gap, like it's just been too long.
Yeah,
for
I agree.
They could have been just working on another one. I feel
Fair.
like. Still getting a little silly.
Nick's confident over here.
I just like making fun facts. Oh,
he's
and
been
because this
drinking.
format's so weird. Like if it wasn't for Paris games, then I would be saying the God of Wars on the, all that stuff.
To be fair, I would have been like Sucker Punch's game, but now we already know what
Yeah.
that is. So
that game looks sweet, by the way.
Ghost of Susumi.
Something like that, yeah.
Ghost
Um,
of Japanese, Chinese, whatever.
From Software's new title gets revealed, teased for next year. By the way, this is like my perfect PlayStation experience. If you haven't noticed yet,
I had that one. So I have enough to do 5 picks. We want to stick with 4 though.
Depends on what yours are.
yeah, he sounds like he's running out of ammo over here.
All right,
so-
I'll pick something out.
you can
I-
always debate.
I conjured up another one, so we can keep
You can
going.
always debate.
Because I
release
kind of
date,
like to
too.
do 5. I enjoy these predictions so much. All right, here we go. Death Stranding gets another trailer. Please be the Emma Stone trailer. I'm
Emma
just saying
Stone
Death
trailer?
Stranding
Yeah.
gets a trailer though. And I actually think this will be at
Game Awards.
Game Awards
Yeah,
and not PSX.
because of Jeff Keighley's undying,
love for Kojima.
strictly platonic love for Hideo Kojima.
Still Game Awards. I think we will see BioWare's Anthem
Huh. I didn't think about that.
and a 2018 release date.
No, this is number 4. Number 4, I'll say Days Gone gets, I guess, the one last trailer, and it's going to get I'll say summer because technically September is in summer, but a quarter. What's that? 2?
Just give me months.
September.
Month to month.
Just say September.
You wanna give a little range? You can do September to.
I was gonna say, what quarter is that? Is that the end of the third
Dude,
quarter?
I don't
Or
know.
Second quarter, whatever quarter that is. Summer.
75
There's
cents or-
physical quarters.
Summer-
There's
It's either
regular.
Summer
50 cents or
2018.
75 cents.
Summer
There's
2018.
seasons.
There's
So summer is
state
June,
quarters.
June to September. Or something
There's
like
state
that.
quarters. I have a whole map of them downstairs.
Oh my god.
I collected those.
You're
things.
one of those kids.
Yeah, they're worth like 10 cents more than 25 cents. Next up. I think I'm going to go with the surefire one that I'm like confident in just to get me a point. Zelda DLC is dated. There's still no date for the Zelda
The
signal.
second one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They said it's coming out in 2017. It's got to get a date at some point. So.
No, it doesn't.
Kellen, what's your last pick?
FF7 remake
Mm-hmm.
date for 2018.
Ooh.
Jeez. I think I've
Because
got
I think
more.
they'll still do the part 1, part 2.
You think
thing.
part
Yeah.
part one?
I think
is coming
part
out
1 will
2018.
be like a fall or winter 2018 thing.
Yeah, I'm just letting you do 2018. If they put a 2018 at the end of that, that would be crazy.
but you would immediately go, "You're lying."
It's
Hey,
not
they
coming out then, but they will announce it for them.
It's like Kingdom Hearts when they put the 2018. I was like, it's
They should have
ballsy.
changed that 1 to a 2.
It's
2020.
ballsy.
Last one for me, except for the Days Gone to complete my personal preference for PlayStation experience. Cyberpunk 2077 is teased.
Wow.
It'll be teased in 2019.
I might not make it to the
Was it
weekend.
2077?
2077.
27,
Yeah. I might not make it to your house that weekend if it gets teased.
That would
But,
be crazy. Fun fact, that's the year it's coming out.
Yeah.
It may be.
Cool. So yeah, we have our predictions for those. We will go over all this stuff on episode, I think it would be 101 is when after the show.
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I'll keep all this stuff safe. Probably.
Hopefully. Right there.
Hopefully it stays there.
I like it.
And we'll go over it. Let's just really quick say some stuff that we thought of that we didn't use if we have any left over. I have a couple. There's been rumors that Soul Calibur 6 and Devil May Cry 5 are going to be there. I have neither Soul Calibur 6 or Devil May Cry 5
Soul
are going to be there.
Calibur
No.
would be a lot better odds of that showing up, I think.
Yeah. I have Crash Team Racing remastered.
No.
I thought about that.
That'd be cool. but
Because they just at the Paris show, didn't they show some new racing game? It's a little bit more.
I don't know.
Okay, well, they showed a racing game, and I'm like, oh, they're trying to get back into it. So that's what I thought.
Ghost of Tsushima gets gameplay trailer. From Software's new game, you already said. Oh, Shadow of the Tomb Raider gets revealed. I think that's
Yeah.
going to be a partner with Sony. And I think that's going to be a big deal
That makes
because I think that Xbox partnership did not work out with the Rise of the Tomb Raider stuff. And then my final one is PlayStation All-Stars 2 revealed. I think if
A lot
you're
of people
gonna
talked about
if
it,
you're
yeah.
gonna reveal it, you do it at PSX. Everybody loses their mind. There's been tons of rumors that it exists. I think that is the easiest game to fake rumor though, so I don't believe it. You just go, oh, Crash. I will say this. I didn't say it because I didn't put it as news because I knew I was going to use it as a prediction. The rumor is that they have Crash in the game, obviously, now. The rumor is Morgana is one of the playable characters in it, though, which would be pretty cool.
Persona?
Morgana from Persona
Okay.
is one of the characters in All-Stars 2
Cool.
and uses, like, the slingshot
is
and
it
the sword.
The van or the cat?
Beep, beep.
Maybe the van's the super.
One of the super. You just run people over.
But that is, I was going to say, let's all do a dream announcement, but then I didn't want to do it because I realized that they might not even do a show. So
That would be.
I was like, let's not do that. But
Let's not risk it.
that's my dream announcement. Give me All-Stars 2.
I wish they had pocketed the Shadow of the Colossus thing for this event.
Me too. That game comes out in 2 months.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
I really wish they would have held on to that for this show.
I think
because-
they're doing Ico too. They're remastering Ico. I think they want Shadow, Ico, and Last Guardian all on the same console.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But
doesn't?
I think that'll be
Yeah.
E3 next year.
Yeah.
Fun fact: prediction for E3 next year. One of mine's going to be Ico.
You'll
forget.
I will not forget Ico. And you didn't have any. You used all yours.
My last one was like a Last of Us thing if I needed it, but they just showed that on
Last of
free.
Us. Yeah, I was gonna have Last of Us isn't there because. But once again, as soon as they came out and they're like, we're not sure we're doing anything, and I was like, I don't know if I even want to do predictions. And then they did the Game
the
Awards
only
stuff.
other
Yeah,
one
we'll do that.
I put on there was Psychonauts 2, just because that's in
Oh,
purgatory
That's
somewhere.
true. They
right now.
show stuff on that. It's just like developer.
Yeah, it's
blogs
like
and stuff.
it's actually really cool,
Yeah.
but like behind the scenes
They have
stuff.
some gameplay and stuff.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was fun. So what we're gonna do now is just real quick. We're gonna hop into answer like a question, and then
Like a question.
we'll do the world's fastest. What we've been playing. Just kind of go over some stuff, bullet point.
World's
wise.
fastest?
Yeah, and then we'll
Our fastest.
Fair enough.
we'll do the releases. I guess whatever. Okay. So first, let's do the what's we've been playing really quick. I've been going through Skyrim VR. Really like it. I think this is the second best VR game next to Resident Evil 7. And I think Resident Evil 7 is only the best because, one, it was made for it this generation, and two, it's a horror game, and horror in VR just works so much. It's, like, not fair.
Yeah.
This game gives you everything that you want in VR. It is what I want out of VR. Like, the cool immersive experiences are fine. I enjoy all of that. But this feels like a game that has another dimension. It adds the dimension of looking around, which is all I need out of VR. I play it with the controller, and it feels like a full, complete game in VR. I'm like 20-something hours in. I'm enjoying it. I have issues with the game, of course. But, like, that doesn't matter as much because this is the first time I've had a VR game like this. So I can forgive all of that pretty easily.
Fair.
I think this is probably, especially if you don't like horror, the first must
Must
buy a VR for this.
Yeah.
And I think Bethesda needs to be applauded for this. Them bringing Doom is, I think I have full confidence in Doom. I can't believe that they did it. And I do really quickly want to point out that a lot of the locomotion stuff that people have issues with, I don't understand what they did in Skyrim to make this work. Because in Farpoint, they have the locomotion, but it feels a little bit like you're like an orb that floats.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like you're walking. And that's what Resident Evil 7 does. You sway, and you get that sense that you're walking.
Yeah.
This game, there's no sway or anything, but it still feels like you're walking. And I don't know what they did, and if I had to guess what from my personal experience, I think they made the footstep sound super loud.
Yeah.
So whenever you walk, you hear doom,
Crunch,
doom,
crunch,
doom,
crunch,
and it's
crunch.
louder
Yeah.
than almost everything. And I think that's how they solved it, and it worked. So I think, once again, Bethesda needs to be applauded for this, and they need to give whatever rig downsizing thing that they use to make this game to a whole bunch of people. They need to
Yeah.
outsource it to a bunch of people because it works.
Because it works well.
And this is coming from Bethesda's not number one
Oh,
fan.
I hate, yeah. And I'm super excited for Fallout because I think
Yeah.
we're going to get Fallout next year, and
Yeah.
I'm totally down for that.
This makes
So,
me
good
think
job.
that Wolfenstein might be in the pipeline too.
I would love like the first, like
that
start
would
with the
be
first
awesome.
one, and
Yeah.
yeah, good job. Plays perfectly with the controller. I've watched 2D gameplay now just to kind of get an idea. It is that exact game. All the DLC, everything. It's great. So good job. Haven't spent any skill points yet. I have 20 something of them.
God.
They're just sitting there. I don't like spending skill points in games. For people who don't know.
That is what they're for.
Nope. Next up, I played Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. Don't want to talk too much about it because I didn't like it very much. It feels like Animal Crossing shrunk down into little islands. So if you want to go fishing, you got to go to the fishing area. If you want to shake trees, you go to the shake the tree area. You want to catch bugs, there's a bug area, and it's a bunch of fetch quests. You talk to somebody, and they're like, I need 3 apples and a fish. And you're like, all right. And you go do it, and you're like, thanks. And they're like, here's a premium thing to go do the actual game that you have to pay for if you want it. I just don't care. Some people are loving it.
Well, you love fetch quests, so.
Yeah. Give me the Switch Animal Crossing. I don't care about this game. And then finally, I want to talk about Monopoly Switch super quick. They patched it so that the loading times are not horrible. I picked it up on Black Friday for like $15-16. The load times are not horrible. It is a totally comparable Monopoly on the go. And I think if you enjoy Monopoly and you would like to play it on the go and have the abilities to easily, it's a very good break the Joy-Cons off play, 2-player game for an airport or whatever it is, a plane ride, car ride. That being said, there's some stuff I wish that you could skip. You can skip the characters moving on the board, but the dice roll, you have to watch them like tumble and knock shit over. And then, like, I wish you could just skip the dice roll and skip that.
Just fast
The
forward.
game would go a lot faster.
Yeah.
And then the other issue I have is they don't have a thing that tells you your total worth, which bothers me. So, like, if you land on a spot and it's like you own $1,000, you have to like do the math and figure out how much you actually own to figure out if you're going to go bankrupt or not. Like, they don't just tell you your total in the corner, which I thought was weird.
It's kind of odd.
Other than that, I'm enjoying it. I think for $40, that's steep. For the 2015, 16 Black Friday stuff, I think it's totally a fine deal. And they did fix the loading problems with it. So those are what I've been playing. Nick, hop to you. What do
You
you
didn't want
playing?
to do White Day?
No. It's a white. I played through about half of White Day.
Yeah.
It's a good first-person Korean horror game. It's a PS2 game that's been brought to PS4. It feels like it. You're locked in a school. You get chased by a janitor, which works because his keys rattle, so you can hear when he's nearby. But it's frustrating because the school is basically a hallway. So if he's in the hallway, like, you just have to hide until he's out of that hallway because the only way to go is to go through that one path. So you just have to wait for him to leave and then go. So the game feels like it's like a 2-3 hour game that is extended to 8 because you have to keep stopping and hiding in a spot because there's a janitor. That being said, there was a moment in the game that I got to where they got rid of the janitor stuff and it was like a timed mission that you had to do something really quickly, and that was awesome. I'd like to see more of that. I haven't finished it, so I don't know if there's more of that. Also, there's 3 girls that you get to romance-ish in the game, and the whole point of going to the school at night and getting locked in is you're giving somebody a gift for the White Day thing. You're leaving it on their desk or whatever. And I got there and found this.
That's dedication.
Got this.
Kevin's
There was
dedicated.
a way cuter girl there, and she's like, "What are you doing here?" And my options were like, "Oh, I'm giving this gift," or "I forgot my textbook." I'm like, "Oh, I forgot my textbook. What's up?"
Smooth.
Yeah, I totally just
Good
changed
work,
gears on who I was going for. Anyway, I think it's just totally worth its price. It does have some scares. The coolest thing in it is that there's ghost stories hidden throughout the school. You find these notes that tell the past ghost stories, and if you reenact the stuff in the notes, the ghosts appear to you. So one of them's like, the school used to be an old like Korean hospital. So one of the ghost stories is like, oh, they locked this person in the closet. She ended up dying there, blah, blah, blah. So if you like shut the lights off in that room and go into the closet and shut the door and like lock it, the ghost will appear to you. But they're all optional. So they're just things that you'll find. And those are the coolest moments in the game, not the janitor guy that chases you. He's just annoying. So I wish it was more of a see how many ghost stories you can do type thing. So that's my review of White Day. If you like horror games, like PS2 horror games, it feels like one of those, but no, it feels like a PS2
Because
game.
it is.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Also, there's voice acting, which I thought was cool. They added
That is
that
cool.
in. So, okay. How about you?
Finished Destiny 2 with all 3 characters, so all 3 classes. Basically, I've run through the gamut of the campaign and all that stuff and have them at a pretty high light level, which just means post-game XP and stuff like that, and getting your gear up to like raid level. So I've done that with 3 characters, and they had Iron Banner this week, which is a PvP variant where you get special rewards and armor and guns and stuff like that for playing this one playlist. So that was cool. Just dump a bunch of time into that and just get cool rewards and armor. This week's was more like Nordic theme, so you're getting a lot of hats with pointy things, like you've been playing with Skyrim.
Pointy things. I like pointy things.
So that was cool. I also
I wear robes.
Yeah, I also snuck in a Wolfenstein Day and finished that. So I beat the second game. That game was amazing. I liked it way more than I know when New Order and Old Blood came out. I was like, I kind of like Old Blood more because it feels more classic Wolfenstein, but New Order was good in the fact that they're going like narrative-driven Wolfenstein, so that was cool. This one, there's a clear winner in the debate for me, and it's 2. They went off the walls with some humor. They had a little bit of humor in the first game with like some personalities in there, but this one's just batshit crazy sometimes, and they are all for it. And there's the cool alternate history aspect of just Nazis walking through towns in like New Mexico and New York and Boston and places like this where you're just like kind of off put because it's like, whoa, this just feels weird. Like, didn't we win the war? You got that kind of playing in your brain. But on top of that, Mick Gordon, the guy that did the Doom music, he did the music in the old Wolfenstein games, but he must have had like a change in his life or something once Doom came out because that soundtrack was amazing and it carried over into this game and it feels like a second Doom soundtrack, but he made it fit with Wolfenstein, if that makes sense. Whereas Doom's more spacey, synthetic, and that sort of stuff. This one's just like metal and like I don't know, like
and
I
violent. It just feels violent.
feel like the adrenaline going in because I talked about last year with Doom how I put the headphones on and I just like got sucked into just like violence. So I'm glad no one like.
It's like a day at work.
I'm glad no one was just like, "Hey Nick" or something like that. I just would have been punching him or something. Like I'm in it.
You're punching your computer.
Well, my computer wouldn't have grabbed me.
Oh.
I don't think.
It might.
I didn't pay that much for it. But anyways, soundtrack was great. And as we mentioned in the predictions, the voice actor for BJ, your main character in the game, that guy was great.
He's awesome.
He is amazing. He deserves a lot more credit, and I hope he gets great things in his life. But I hope this gets talked about more at the end of the year by Game Awards and people making their articles and stuff online. Game was amazing. And I just dipped back into Horizon. I'm going to be playing that over the next week and completely felt lost. Like those controls aren't something
Horrible.
You just jump back into. And it doesn't really have tutorials. It's got like a quest log so I can remember what I did to do the thing. But
when I played that game, I went into the system settings and swapped the circle and square button because for some reason roll is circle and crouch is square, I think it is. And I'm like, this is very, like, you're like walking and then you go to crouch with circle because that's crouching 90% of the game. So you just roll and all the dinosaurs charge at you. So I swapped them, but the problem is it swaps it for the whole game. So then, like, when I'm leaving menus, when I'm talking to people, it's square instead of circle. And I was just like, I can't play this.
I can't win. Poor Kevin.
Last time I played it was in like
it,
March or whatever it was. And now that I'm playing on the 4K, the HDR, all that stuff, I'm just like, whoa, this feels like a completely different game. So it's real pretty. Got all that stuff worked out for it and all the technical side. So it looks awesome. But I kind of wandered around and talked to 2 people in the 30 minutes I got to play it. And I was just like, I do not remember these controls. So I need to either restart, which sucks because I feel like I got about 8 or 10 hours into the game, or watch YouTube videos or something just to be like, oh yeah, this is how you do
Just
the
go
like
mess
chain of
around.
events. Because
don't save.
otherwise I'm going to walk up to something, it's just going to squash me. I'm going to be like, okay. But enjoying what little I got to play of that, and I'm about to dive straight into it. So
Cool. What about you, Kellen?
Almost everything Nick has played, I have played. I've done about 9.5 hours in Wolfenstein 2. Not done with it yet. I spent a whole bunch of time on Destiny 2.
Oh, yeah.
My God.
with me too.
There's a lot of, probably half of it.
Yeah.
Like I've got 2 characters that are done and pretty high. I started the DLC on. I just forget the name of the game. Horizon.
Frozen Wilds.
Horizon Frozen Wild. Yeah. I did the first 45 minutes of it.
I heard it's good. It's long. It's like 15
it's like
hours.
15 hours. Yeah. I got through the intro of it, and I'm just like, what are these controls? Oh God.
Yeah, they're so strange, and also the level for that is high.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's like 36 is the recommended level.
Luckily,
for it.
I'm a 50, but
oh really?
I
my friend did it, and he was level 21, and he beat the game and everything or whatever. And he's like, "All right, time to do this," and I was like, watch out."
Part of the joy of getting the platinum is I have everything in the game. So
yeah,
it opens up a whole new skill tree, a whole fourth tree.
Cool.
And I almost
don't
have
spend points on it.
I almost have it maxed out because I already had spare points laying around.
To be fair, I'm gonna after this show, I need to talk to you about the Skyrim points.
You are severely neutering yourself if you don't spend points.
I haven't had a problem.
There's actual gameplay benefits to it.
Oh, really? I don't know. I haven't
there's benefits.
I just can't decide. I know you can't get as many points as there are tree things, so I'm not. I don't know.
You don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not supposed to be jack of all
and there's not
trades
too
in that
many
game.
skills that I really like, except I like archery a lot.
Then
good
because
man.
in
What's your
VR,
points in archery?
it's awesome. But
I'm gonna have to try that.
is there anything else, or is that
For some reason, I had the urge to fire up my 360 and play NCAA football 2014. So
all right? Well, we're done here.
I don't know why. Just felt
All
like
right, and then
I want to talk about college football.
rapid fire some questions/comments that we got.
Poor Nick.
First off, World's End, as always, posting Sony needs to put Gravity Rush in VR. Yes, I'm that crazy. I want it. I have not felt sick in VR ever.
the vomiting.
Gravity Rush in VR sounds horrible.
I would 100% try that though.
I will 100% buy that, though. I love Gravity Rush. I think that actually, there is, without giving away too much, there's this few sections in Gravity Rush that are sort of like walking simulator-y, like you just walk and talk to people and get some story stuff. That in VR sounds cool. That world in VR would be awesome because it's super colorful and pretty. I don't know how flying around would work.
The combat in VR though.
Yeah, I don't know how any of that
You'd
would
end
work.
up upside down on your couch, wrapped in cords.
But once again, Skyrim worked. So go
you
talk to
can't
them.
change the gravity.
and
I don't know. There's some glitches that might as well just change.
I've
the
seen
gravity.
some game-breaking glitches in Skyrim. That's
I
fine.
haven't run into any yet. I've run into every glitch I've run into glitches for sure, but they've all been funny.
Yeah,
Like
fair.
I always
What,
just
in
laugh at them.
Skyrim?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like just people running into a wall or whatever. I'm like, what are you doing? Next up, Zach Yonder says, if you guys are interested, you should check out Divinity Original Sin 2.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of the best games that no one's talking about this year. Not my style, RPG style thing. I'm just not a big fan of that more top-down-ish,
Yeah.
computer,
Very classic
strategic.
RPG. Yeah.
Not really for me. You've played it though.
Yeah, I've talked about it 2-3 weeks.
A little
kind
bit.
of scattered about, just because I kind of dip in. That's my backup game.
Mm-hmm.
It should have probably taken the spot of Battlefront 2 because I got mad at it and didn't want to support that system. So I just
Fair.
played more Destiny, which Iron Banner week, and I'm sure they're gonna continuously have events
Have you
during
finished
weeks
the
to.
Iron Banner thing? Or?
Oh yeah,
God,
almost
man.
2 or 3 times over. But
I don't know what that means.
I'm only at 30%.
yeah, I'm like 170%. Anyways, that's
How
been my
percents
backup
work?
game, Divinity Original Sin 2. I feel like that game would be in my personal game of the year list if I got to
I'm
spend
so
more
excited
time in
to
it.
do our game of the years.
And to remind
Why?
you guys, that was the game
good
where I was you almost kind of feel like you're role playing because there's no wrong option, there's no spec. Skyrim, you're supposed to kind of stick to if you chose the cat class, if you chose them, you're sort of supposed to be a thief, and so your sneak is high, your thieving is high, archery, stuff like that. And you're supposed to stick to a role, whereas this one is just a blank palette, and you just do what you want to do. So, sort of like you say in choice-based games, I don't really care about good or evil. I just kind of pick what I would do at that
yeah.
moment. That's this game. That's the game where I pick.
Is this PC only?
Yes. Yes, I think
If
so.
not,
I think
it should
I
be.
think it originally was PC on the first one, and then it might have come out for other.
I'll look.
But anyways, I believe at this moment right now it's PC only, and I don't really know how it would work on anything short of a PS4 Pro and Xbone X.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in that game in there.
But that was the game where I made the skeletal man, and if I ran into a town without a human's face on, or a cowl, or a helmet, or something like that, people would see me and literally freak the hell out and just start running, oh my god, it's a skeleton man. Or you can choose all sorts of classes and just do whatever. So, it really and it's got a D&D engine built into it. So if you just want to make your own Dungeons and Dragons types of games, then there you go. It's right there in the game.
The first one is on PS4. The second one, they said that they have no plans to bring it to PS4, but after seeing how successful it was, they said they're reconsidering.
Open to it. Yeah. Like I said, I know you can't just make a PS4 Pro and Xbone X game because it's just weird to do that.
New 3DS.
But I can't imagine playing it on the regular consoles that we have right now, especially Switch. That's impossible to play it on Switch.
480p.
But yeah, like he's right. No one's really talking about it, and I feel like if you're sticking to just RPG themes, it beats Zelda. It beats a lot of stuff that came out this year. But those other games have years of history, and
maybe if it gets a deep
Nintendo's
sale on PC, because my PC works again, thanks to Kellen. And a little bit from me the next day.
Just the one thing.
My PC works again, so I'm interested in at least picking up super cheap PC games and trying them out. I wanted to buy a Steam Link. I'm not 100% sure what that is, but I think it brings it to the TV.
There was an option to buy a Steam Link and a Steam controller for like $35.
I was going to say they're $5.
But you can get just a link for $5. It lets you stream your PC to wherever your Steam Link is.
That's kind of what I'm thinking about doing. So
I think it's still on sale
maybe
to the 28th.
So yeah, if you have
Maybe
a nice
I'll,
TV but your monitors are just so, or if you have a nice monitor, whatever,
or you're just like sitting on a couch.
But yeah,
or you prefer a controller.
yeah,
so I might do that.
it's a good buy, especially for $5. I think it started out as $50, and it's just slowly
But
come down.
I just
since.
know
they're on
personally,
sale for like
I'm trying to do
$4.99.
all my Game of the Year stuff, like things that I think will compete, because I felt bad one year I didn't play Rise of the Tomb Raider because it was on Xbox, and I didn't want to support that practice that they pulled, and then I got it for PS4 and was like, oh shit, this game is awesome.
Well, now too, these games are
I'm
coming
trying to
out
play everything.
instead of being patched like a lot of the PC games now start off with controller support, so there's almost no reason for you to not.
Yeah,
Get
so maybe I'll jump into that because I got to do Hellblade.
And it's good
Cuphead
for
first.
Jackbox party games and stuff like that too, because they're always super cheap. Like the party, the
Yeah,
fun
it was
games,
on
the Nidhogs.
4 was
and
on
the-
Steam really cheap recently.
Yeah.
All right, let's hop into the releases. We're kind of winding down on releases, end of the year / Black Friday's over type thing. So
There's
there's only like
expansions and
yeah, there's probably 2 more big releases for the whole year. But anyway, Black Mirror is coming November 28th, PS4, Xbox One, PC. Resident Evil Revelations Collection is coming to the Switch November 28th. Those are okay. If you really like Resident Evil, I think they're just kind of dabbling with things on the Switch, seeing how they're doing. Star Ocean: The Last Hope 4K Full HD Remaster Edition is coming to the PS4 and PC November 28th. Curious about that.
Cool.
And Little Witch Academia Chamber of Time is coming to the PS4 on November 30th. I have no clue what that is.
I heard Academia, but different kind.
Huh? What'd you say?
he got sidetracked. Don't worry about him.
I heard Academia, different thing.
Okay. Well, that's it for this episode of the Press X podcast. Let us know your predictions for PSX, Game Awards, and the Game Awards nominees down below. Thank you for being here, Kellen.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here, Nick.
Uh huh.
And thank you so much for watching. We'll speak with you next time.